And so I can really get a much better understanding. Could you, for our listeners, could you explain a little bit about the Hebrew calendar? You can go anywhere you want with it, but what inspired you to write this book?
Yeah, that book is so God. It is a revelation of more than 20 years worth of study just on the power of understanding the Old Testament, understanding Torah, understanding the Hebrew calendar. God himself, Jeff, gave me a desire to know and understand his times and seasons. So I started following, this is just by the Holy Spirit, I started following the different months of the Hebrew calendar, and I became fascinated in my studies, and this went year after year after year, okay? This isn't like one day I rolled out of bed and I could put all these pieces together. No, this has taken a really long time. God gave me a desire to know about it. He just began to raise it up within me. He began to start speaking to me there's some dates that are off here. For instance, every 7 years, Passover and, what Christians call Easter or Resurrection Sunday is 4 weeks apart. And, I knew and understood the Old Testament story of Moses taking the Israelites from the bondage of Egypt into the Promised Land, but I didn't necessarily understand that the process of Passover was like Jesus dying on the cross for us as our Passover lamb, being buried, and then resurrected, as in when Paul says we also died with Jesus, we were buried with him and resurrected. This is in Romans chapter 5, 6, 7, and 8. That now we've gone on to a promised land as well. So it was little tidbits like this that God started to work with me on. Then he started to literally break it down to dates and times. What I came to find out after many years of study is that each month of the Hebrew calendar corresponded with a different aspect of who God is. And if you chart all 12 months of the Hebrew calendar year, even though we're on a Gregorian calendar from January to December, if you chart it with the Hebrew calendar, God would be revealing things about himself prophetically to his people that matched up with the Hebrew calendar, not with the Gregorian calendar. Didn't match up.